Hi, welcome. Today's pattern I'm going to tie is a Sandeel pattern. The eels, sand eels and baitfish are gathering towards the shores at the moment on the beaches, the rocks and in the estuaries, and the predators are following behind them, feeding on sand eels and sprats. So this fly here will catch you bass, pollock, mackerel, coalfish, anything that's obviously following the shoals and feeding on them. So we'll get ahead and tie one up. The hook I'm going to put in the vise is it's one of my old sea fishing hooks, to be fair. It's a Camasan bait holder. They've got little bait holder barbs on the top, but I've crushed them down because obviously not needed for this pattern. But any strong Aberdeen type hook, this is a size 4, you can put your Sandeel pattern on it. It's up to yourself. The thread I'm going to use is white UTC 70. So what we're going to do, start near the head, work way down. Just going to put a base down to the thread, because what we're going to add to this for the underbody is some silver tinsel. This will be underneath the actual fly itself. So this is what we're going to use, a strip of silver tinsel for the body. We'll tie that in. Go all the way along. And then back again. And then we'll just go along the body. Touching turns all the way back toward the eye of the hook. And then just snip that off. And what you can do, you can either use varnish or that on that or what I tend to do is put a thin cover of UV glue on to protect it. So just push a thin bit on. Hit it with a UV torch. Just to harden it off. And then that allows you to proceed with the rest of the fly. Now the material I'm going to use for the body of the Sandeel is different coloured craft fur. There's white, chartreuse, and for the back is dark green. So what we do is cut a piece of the craft fur, just a small bit at a time. So cut it near the very base. And you end up with a thin piece like this. So what we're going to do now, we want the Sandeel fairly thin, because obviously Sandeels are thin, so we don't want to get too much bulk on the fly, so we're going to tie it in this way. If we wanted a bigger head, on say if it was going to be a mullet, we could do what's reverse tying, which is tie it this way and then fold it over. That gives you more bulk and a bigger shape at the front end. So what we'll do, we'll just tie this onto the front loose at first and then tie it down on the top. That's it. And then what you can do is with this, you can, once you can get your shape, you can tease it out and pull it out to get your shape, which you'll see as we go on. The next thing I'm going to do is put a couple of strands of crystal flash in. This is on top of the white, the first bit. So I'll cut a couple of bits of this. I want it just to lie on the surface like that of the white, so we'll tie that in onto the top, like so. Now I want some more white craft fur to go on top of that. So we'll cut another length off. Trim the edges. And this will now go on top of that. This just builds the body up a little bit bigger. Like I say, we don't want it big. Cinch it down. Now what we're going to do is use, for the contrast of the body, we're going to use a bit of chartreuse. So again, cutting a section off, not too big again. Just trim the front end up a bit. Pinch and loop. Cinch it down. Starting to take a bit of shape there now anyway. Right. So then what we can do for the back, we want the dark green. So we'll take another length of this. And again, what we'll do, bring it on to the top. Now the bit at the front, it doesn't matter if it's a bit bulky because we're going to have to put eyes on it anyway, so we'll have to make a head for the eyes to sit on. So See, it's starting to take shape. Tie it down tight. Now, I'm going to take another piece of crinkle flash, just put it down the sides, one either side, just to give it a look of a lateral line. Tie it in. That's it. Then we'll come over, come to this side. Tie that in where we want it. And just trim that like that. Now, what I like to do here is when I turn it on the side, to keep the profile nice, I like to put a bit of UV just on here, on the side, just a touch. And then I hit it with the UV light, pulling the material so it stays nice and thin. This also holds the lateral line in the middle where you want it. So turn it on the other side. Pull it again. Hit it with the light. Starts to keep the shape that you want. Now what we can do, we can make the position for the eye to go on. Or the eyes, I should say, not the eye. There's two eyes. So we'll finish that head off there, tie it off. The wraps, cut it off. Starting to take a little bit of shape there now, as you can see. Oh, this is the awkward bit I find, getting the eyes on. What we're going to use is, you buy these sheets of 5mm eyes, you get them off eBay, wherever, any the tackle shops, whatever, and then we have to glue these on, but it's sometimes quite tricky. So what we'll try and do, we're going to put a bit of UV glue onto the where this one's going to go, put it onto there, one side. And we'll try and get one with a pair of, see if we can get them with the tweezers. Pick an eye up off the sheet. And then we'll try and put it into position where we want it. Just check from the front, see we're happy, and then hit it with a UV torch. This is just to hold it initially into position. And just put a little bit under there. Wait a minute. Again, just to hold it. Because we're going to cover the whole of both the eyes with UV and harden it off. So turn it this side. See him again. A little bit of UV on there. Pick one of the eyes up. Get it into position. Okay. Try and take your time and once you get your eye roughly in position, hit it with a light. And then what I do is fill the gap, tilt it up a bit, and then fill the gap with UV, let it sink in. This holds the eyes together and gives it a nice hard head on it. A little bit more on the top. And I put it another small amount along the behind the eye, just at the sides. And then hit that with the light. Now we're starting to get the shape. Underneath, just just put the red marker just for the gills, and then some more to finish it off. Some more UV. That's it. What you can do is nip your tail, and then get your shape. Across the eye, along the body, same on the other side, across the eye, along the body, and then just hit it again with your light. You're looking a bit more like a Sandeel. And then what I normally do is put a bit of varnish just around the head, around the eyes. And there you have it. Sandeel. Give them a tie up. Get them on. You can use them on floating lines, sinking lines, depending on if you're fishing shallow water, deep water. If there's any predators about, I'm sure you'll do all right with them. If you like it, check the other flies I've got on my channel and subscribe. Thank you very much. Cheers now.